The top 6 presentation skills to overcome public speaking anxiety, and actually none of them are about being more confident. So hi, I'm Miroslav Bardovic. I'm a TEDx speaker, a global keynote speaker, the founder of the Enlivened Speaking Institute, where I've trained over 1,200 speakers, and I'm the best-selling author of Give Them Goosebumps, How to Utilize the Power of Presence to Own the Stage of Communication. So what I'm about to jump into with you might be a bit different. We're going to walk you through the 6 presentation skills that help you overcome anxiety, but it's going to be by changing how you interpret what's happening in your body. So a lot of people have a misconception about anxiety. Number 1, nerves mean importance, not incompetence. So the times we get nervous are the times when something is really important to us. For example, if you're presenting to a group of 5-year-olds, or if you're presenting to a group of cows in the field, you probably wouldn't get nervous because it doesn't matter. You don't value what they think, and rightly, if it's cows, you rightly shouldn't. But when we do get nerves is when we have a value on how we're being perceived and if this is valuable for the audience. So if you're starting off, getting in front of people on any stage is going to activate nerves because you're not sure. And I find even for seasoned speakers, like let's say professional speakers have to present to their peers, suddenly there's nerves. A lot of times they say to me like, well, I'm usually fine to present, but now that this is my peers, I'm feeling nervous. So firstly, recognize what we're meeting underneath the surface is you're nervous because it matters. You're experiencing anxiety because it matters. If you weren't, you wouldn't be feeling this. So this alone is permission to be like, oh, this is an activation. And anytime you feel that activation inside, it's just a reminder to yourself to give it everything you've got, to lean in, to say yes, because that activation is also an initiation. On the other side of that, you're going to grow more as a person, more professionally. You're going to be comfortable taking up more space with who you are. And this is because your identity is on the line. You're considering what people think, will they value you, all of these thoughts that go through our head. Your authority is being tested. Can you actually deliver? And I mean, rightly so, you care about the impact. You want to give it everything you've got. It's not just about income in this case, it's about influence. So your body reacts because this matters to you. And if you didn't care, you wouldn't feel anything. So just remember when you're experiencing this, it's about accepting it and allowing it to move through you. Number 2, half of what you're calling anxiety is excitement. So in terms of a physiological state, there isn't that much difference between anxiety and excitement. Your chest might get tight, you might feel the rush, the surge. Typically it's the same energy that elite performers use when they're about to step on stage. Instead of attaching the ideas, I'm nervous, and what if I stuff it up? Think to yourself, this is a game changer. I'm mobilizing. My system is mobilizing. And the moment I step on stage, all of that dormant energy, instead of being suppressed, has the opportunity to move through me, reach out and touch my audience. So when you're hearing yourself being introduced off stage, and then they're like, welcome, blah, 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 Miroslav Bardovic. The idea is, can I let everything that's been pent up move through the room and touch the people in the room? And not even calling it nervousness, calling it energy, calling it expression. And the bigger the stage gets, the more impact and reach you want to have with your energy. You definitely don't want to be hiding or suppressing anything. So a lot of the time people think that confidence means having no nerves, and you actually start recognizing that activation precedes authority. The more activation there is, the more impact you can create. On a side note, check out the description below if you want to chat with us about supporting you to create more influence on any stage, whether that's one-on-one calls, meetings, or presentations. Okay. Number 3, the spike is short, the story is long. A lot of people are terrorized by the idea of anxiety, and in actual fact, anxiety is a very small peak. It's typically under 60 seconds we go through anxiety before we hit a plateau afterwards. So what is more intense is the days, weeks, or months leading up to that little peak when we're stuck in the anxiety. The identity fears the spike and the peak before the action. But once you start speaking, your system will really quickly calibrate. So if you know that in advance, it's just like, okay, I can get used to that. It's like when you're going on a plane and you know there's going to be an intensity before you find altitude and level out. It's exactly the same with speaking. And you can be prepared for it so you're not surprised when the plane takes off. When you're approaching that stage, you know that's the plane taxiing on the runway before it gathers speed. So remember this when you're approaching your speaking gigs, whether that's getting on a stage or even being in a meeting and knowing that if you have something important to say, that plane is going to get a lot of throttle. So a lot of people overestimate how long the discomfort lasts. It actually is over very quickly. You're probably bracing a long time for a storm to last 30 seconds. And the moment you start moving, speaking, expressing, you're moving the energy and your nervous system will settle. This is critical for those of you that avoid big rooms, because there's going to be more peak when there's more on the line, so to speak. And I invite you to move towards it. Like, take your gradual steps, but do move towards it, because the experience is just unforgettable. Number 4, your anxiety doesn't block your performance. So you can perform well while nervous. For most people, the audience can't even tell. And I've done exercises with students where someone will get up, be nervous, and I'll ask the audience, how many of you could tell that they were nervous? And typically they can't. Now, I find when I coach people, if I can shift the nervousness in the speaker's body, the audience goes a lot deeper and becomes a lot more present. But if you're starting off, you do not have to worry about that. Just because you think you're present doesn't mean the audience can see it. For example, athletes perform while they're activated. Elite speakers admit they have nerves. And you start recognizing authority isn't the absence of activation. It's the hidden regulation inside activation. So you don't need to be calm to be powerful. You don't need to be perfectly settled. You need to stay present while you're activated, and you need to be comfortable opening your system so it can move through you. And sometimes what I say to people is the nerves are like lightning, like thunder. And when that lightning starts moving inside of you, it's really hard to suppress it. That takes a lot of energy and it creates a lot of tension to be like, I hope no one sees I'm nervous. Whereas if you can allow it out and allow it to move through you and allow it to take up space, suddenly that lightning is really powerful energy moving through the room. And it's just going to command presence as you lock eyes with your audience. Okay, number 5. The audience is on your side and they're rooting for you 99% of the time. No one is coming to a meeting or a presentation or anything else like that because they want to be bored. They're very deeply yearning to be engaged. They want to go on the journey with you. They want to hear your stories because it's a lot better than pushing like they were on their phones. Corporate audiences, for example, they want clarity. The event planner that booked you, they want you to succeed. The peers that you might be speaking to, they want the value you're giving them. And the fear of judgment is often exaggerated. The fear of judgment is usually feeling exposed as if we're not fully there or not good enough, all of these things. And like, firstly, I want to say the art and the path of speaking, the mastering the path of speaking, which has no end, mastery is a lifelong commitment, is about recognizing that there's a value inherent inside all of us that's deeper than the words we say. And it's very closely tied to our stories and how much permission, freedom, and growth those stories give to other people. But it is a journey of moving through those layers of, am I enough? Will they get enough? Am I offering enough value? Because that's layers of our own personal world that have to be digested. What you have to remember is your audience is never wanting you to fail. They're hoping that you deliver. And this just softens that hypervigilance we all have inside. If you've ever wondered how to speak like a CEO and show real executive presence, the answer again is not more confident. You can go and check out that video. Otherwise, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.